Audio Jungle.
Elderly man fined $5,000 for breaching curfew. An elderly man has been fined $5,000 or 10 days imprisonment after pleading guilty to breaching curfew orders. Clinton Robinson appeared in Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday, facing charges of disorderly conduct, breach of curfew, and resisting arrest. According to prosecution, Robinson was found outside his Kingston home community during curfew hours. When officers attempted to arrest him, he reportedly resisted and cursed at them. Presiding Judge Burrell, after hearing the charges, jokingly remarked that Robinson appeared to be part of the Elbow Benders Club, a reference to drinking. Robinson claimed that the police forcibly placed him into the vehicle and distributed the prosecution's version of events, calling it untrue. Despite his protest, Robinson pleaded guilty to the curfew breach. He was fined $5,000 or 10 days in custody. However, he pleaded not guilty to disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Those matters were subsequently transferred to the lay magistrate court for trial on June 17. Health Minister satisfied with progress of work to redevelop Spanish Town Hospital. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton says he is satisfied with the progress of work to redevelop the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine. He toured the project site on Wednesday, noting that construction is moving smoothly and is on the right track. Dr. Tufton explained that lessons learned from the Corner Regional Hospital rehabilitation project were used in planning for the work at the Spanish Town Hospital. The $5.5 billion project will see the transformation of the 430-bed hospital into a state-of-the-art, six-story facility spanning more than 17,000 square feet. The facility will offer expansive service such as urology, oncology, cardiology, among others. It will be equipped with cutting-edge technology, including electronic access to patient medical records, multiple operating theaters, and increased bed space, moving from 470 to 600. The new building will also include an accident and emergency wing on the ground floor, along with an ambulance bay, turret and consultation room, and lounge area for medical staff.
We have poured tons of concrete to create the foundation, and the contractors are now building up to get to a sixth floor of building from the base all the way up. It's going to mean a lot. I am being told by the project manager things are going well. There's a huge difference between this and Cornwall Regional. I have to reference Cornwall Regional. This is a greenfield site. We have learned a lot from the Cornwall experience, and so we put a lot of planning in it. And of course, the contractors so far have complied. So from that vantage point, we are satisfied. We're comfortable with what is happening. Started off a little slow because we had some design issues that needed to be reconciled between the contractors and the design team. Once that was cleared up, the contractors have gone full-fledged, and the local team here have been monitoring, providing the supervisory work, and reporting back to me.
Cause for concern. The Press Association of Jamaica (PAG) has expressed concern about the island's slip to 26th place on the 25th World Press Freedom Index released by Reporters Without Borders (RSF). In a media release issued on Friday, the PAG said, while the country remains among the top ranking globally and second in the Caribbean, the downward trend is a wake-up call that should not be ignored. This marks a two-place drop from last year's position and continues our downward trend. It is important to recall that the country once held up at the top 10 position, reaching an all-time high of 6th place in 2020. That decline over the last 5 years underscores the urgent need for meaningful intervention to preserve the gains made and strengthen our commitment to press freedom, said the PAG, which is led by the Jamaica Observer Business Convent Manager, Dashawn Hendricks. In its 2025 report to mark World Press Freedom Day, which is celebrated on May 3rd each year, RSF said, in the past 2 decades, freedom of the press as a whole has continued to improve in Jamaica. However, there is a growing gulf of distrust between government officials and the media that has contributed to a decline in institutional respect for press freedom. The international media watchdog entity pointed to the incident in which shots were fired in the parking lot of Nationwide Network, its concern about provision in the Data Protection Act and the Criminal Justice and Administration Act, which is said that draconian penalties for attempting to take a photograph of a criminal defendant outside a courtroom or sketch a prisoner in court. RSF thoughts are with the journalists and media workers affected by the violent crime, and we implore the authorities to quickly and transparently find the perpetrators and demonstrate to all Jamaicans that crimes against journalists will not go unpunished, the group said in a relation to the incident at Nationwide. Impunity for the crime against journalists is a growing problem around the world, which contributes to an ever more dangerous environment for news gathering. Press freedom is a fundamental Jamaican value entrenched in its constitution, and the country has historically been a leader on press freedom. So, we fully expect the culture of impunity to be rejected, said Clayton, Executive Director of RSF United States Bureau. In its response to PAG, stated the RSF reported highlight a troubling erosion of relationship between the media and public institutions, especially the state. It cites growing mistrust, limited transparency, and increased economic vulnerability among newsrooms. These trends threaten to undermine public interest journalism and democratic accountability, said PAG. The association added that it was particularly concerned over the recent Supreme Court ruling in the defamation case against the Gleaner. According to PAG, the ruling raises very serious concerns about how journalists will continue to benefit from legal protections that have long undergone effects, timely, and responsible coverage of parliamentary proceedings. This move undermines the long-established legal defense of the principle of quality privilege, which protects journalists who fairly and accurately report on matters discussed in Parliament. The use of the courts to sanction such reporting sends a chilling message to all journalists engaged in parliamentary reporting. It is a direct threat to freedom of expression and the media's role as watchdog, the PAG noted. It added that a major structural weakness affects press freedom in Jamaica is the failure to update the Access of Information ATI Act. For years, the PAG and civil society have called for a revised law that reflects the current digital age, limits bureaucratic delay, and remove excessive exemptions. Yet, despite repeated promises, the review remains stalled. Timely and transparent access to public information is the lifeline of a free press. Without it, journalists face unnecessary hurdles in obtaining the information, increasing their legal exposure and weakening the quality of public discourse, said the PAG. The organization said it is urging the government to expedite the tabling and debate of the review ATI legislation, commit to reducing turnaround times at ATI request, equip all public authorities with the training and resources to comply, and introduce sanctions for unjustified refusal or delays. Beyond legislation, Jamaica must also safeguard against pressures that compromise media independence. The concentration of media ownership, heavy resilience and advertising from state and private entities, and the rise of politically affiliated online voices can all distort the information landscape, stated the PAG. It also issued a call for greater transparency in state advertising allocation, support for sustainability, independent journalism, and continued education on media literacy and press freedom. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.